Have you ever looked around and felt like you were somehow out of sync with the world? As if you were tuned to a different frequency, one that hears the quiet in a room full of noise. You listen, you observe, you understand, but you rarely feel understood. It's not arrogance. It's not distance. It's awareness. And awareness, when it runs deep, can feel like isolation. Intelligent people don't drift away because they think they're better. They drift because their minds move differently. They see layers where most see surfaces. They question patterns that others accept as normal. And over time, this depth becomes a quiet border between them and the rest of the world. It starts young. The intelligent child sits back while others rush to answer. They notice tone, timing, emotion, the invisible details that make people human. But with each realization, innocence fades. The world reveals its flaws too early, and what was once curiosity becomes caution. You learn that most people don't want truth. They want comfort. And the smarter you get, the more you have to pretend you don't see what you see. You start editing yourself in conversations. You water down thoughts so others don't drown in them. You listen more, speak less, and discover that silence is a better teacher than debate. You learn to nod instead of argue, to observe instead of correct, because you've realized something painful. Most people don't want to understand. They just want to be right. So you retreat. Not out of pride, but preservation. The more you think, the more fragile peace becomes. When you notice the motive behind smiles, the fear behind confidence, the insecurity behind pride, connection feels like walking through a hall of mirrors. You see everyone's reflection, including your own. And it's overwhelming. Some people fill their lives with constant noise. The music, the scrolling, the endless distraction. But the intelligent mind can't escape its own awareness. It hears the silence behind every sound. And that silence, while beautiful, can also feel unbearable. You begin to crave simplicity, but your thoughts refuse to simplify. They branch, connect, analyze, spiral. The gift of depth becomes the curse of distance. And yet there's beauty in this disconnection. Because when you step back from the world, you start to see it clearly. You realize that most conflict isn't between good and evil. It's between awareness and ignorance. That people aren't cruel by nature. They're just lost in their own illusions. You stop judging and start observing. You stop reacting and start understanding. And that shift, while lonely, is freedom disguised as solitude. Many intelligent people mistake this state for brokenness. They wonder why they can't blend in. Why crowds drain them. Why parties feel like performances. But maybe the truth is simple. They were never meant to blend. They were meant to translate, to witness, to document what others miss. The observer isn't broken. He's awake. When you begin to see how fragile human nature is, how much fear drives behavior, how much ego hides pain, connection becomes sacred. You no longer crave large groups or constant validation. You value the rare few who meet your depth without drowning in it. And that's the quiet reward of intelligence, selective peace. Not everyone will understand you, but the few who do will feel like home. Still, awareness can be exhausting. When your mind never stops running simulations, when you can predict outcomes before they unfold, it's easy to feel detached from the moment. You watch life like a movie you've already seen. And that's the paradox. The smarter you become, the harder it is to be surprised. The sharper your perception, the duller the world appears. But that's when wisdom begins. Because real intelligence isn't about knowing more. It's about seeing deeper. It's the shift from analysis to acceptance. From dissection to understanding, the intelligent person eventually learns that peace doesn't come from fitting in. It comes from standing still in a world that can't stop running. So if you feel disconnected, don't rush to fix it. Maybe it's not loneliness. Maybe it's clarity. You've stepped out of the current long enough to see the river for what it is. And yes, it's isolating. But it's also honest. Because the mind that sees through illusions will always walk alone. At least until others catch up. So keep walking. Keep thinking. Keep observing. And know this. Your distance isn't a flaw. It's the proof that your mind has matured beyond imitation. The world will call it disconnection, but in truth, it's awareness. It's consciousness. It's evolution. And that's something the noise will never understand.